and you are watching Gov's Radio. This is where you go if you want to see something or if you want to hear something funny. Coming up in just a couple minutes. This is a joke I told. What? I'm not on Gov Radio? Call the police. Call my agent.
The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. So call Two Eagles Auto Body and ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body.
Hey Tony, you're not funny, and you probably shit yourself a lot, and you're no fun to be with, and you don't make that much money, and you're not going anywhere in show business, and I hope you get hit by a bus, and
3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first, behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Hello, Tony. Mookie Wilson here, 1986 Mets. How you doing? Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knockem Dead Comedy Radio, man. I miss you. I wish I was still up there, man. But I'll wait till it warms up a little bit, and hopefully this year things will be a little bit better, man. But when we're talking about comedy, hey, the early years of Mets was a lot to laugh about. You had to make a lot of comedy off those guys. Hey, hope to see you guys during the summer, and hopefully get back on the show, man, at some point in time during the course of the year, all right? All right? Yeah, fine. Contact me, man. All right, Tony. Talk to you later.
3-2 to Mookie.
You wanna listen in as the show as the show begins. You're telling all your friends the party never ends. Knockem dead. Knockem dead. Comedy show.
Hi, there we go.
You're so ugly.
Wow. Hi, everybody. We're back.
Andy's back.
Andy's back.
Andy's back.
Because we're Andy's #1 fan.
Fuck yeah.
Hi, pal.
Hey,
Good to see you.
is it?
Yes.
Because you've been avoiding me for.
Well, you started it. You left first.
I had a reason.
All right, and I had reasons. And I'll have a reason next week when I'm not here. Oh, Lisa's decided not to come to England.
Okay.
So I have an extra airline ticket.
Yeah. No.
You should come.
I don't want to take up any of your time with Elio. Because that would be rude. Like if Elio was in here and I called in and you spent 45 minutes talking to me, that wouldn't be cool.
All right, well, I'm going to shut you up already because Chris Monty's here.
Hey.
Let's see. There he is. Hi, Chris.
What's up, gentlemen?
There he
How
is.
are you today?
Hey.
We're doing all right, but I got issues with you.
Well, why? Because I can't get your messages?
No, that actually was fine. I thought that was kind of funny.
First of all, let me just say this. I'll go to England.
Oh, yeah, you can come. I got an extra
All right.
airline ticket.
Well, let's see what the issue is first.
My issue is, can you see that?
Yes.
All right. So, who is it? You or who's the decision maker that takes a picture like that? Says, or it's a blurry picture of you, and says that's the perfect picture to use to advertise a gig.
Well, I slapped that together 2 seconds. That was a live shot from a show.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it's not blurry on my end where I put it from. So I don't know why it came out blurry.
Yeah.
So wait, I'm sorry. The answer to the question is you.
Yes.
The answer is me, but when I actually did it from my phone, but when I posted it from my phone, maybe I'm blind, but or maybe it was cropped and made it blurry, but it wasn't blurry originally.
You didn't notice that your face is like maybe you're turning as you're talking.
Oh my
or something.
God!
It
He
looks-
just said that
All
when
right,
he
but-
did it, it wasn't blurry.
I know, but I'm
But
trying
you know
to.
what, Tony?
Yes.
In all fairness, my face is better blurry than clear.
See, that's exactly why I brought this up. I disagree. I completely disagree. See, look, he's laughing right now. He's got a great smile. He's a
Tony-
handsome man.
Tony just put you in the
Oh,
top
you're a
3
sweet
comedians he
guy.
would bang.
Well, I thought everybody knew that already. No.
So the other
No,
two?
I mean we were having the talk before.
Well, that's
Like,
why
who
you're
would you
here.
Bang? And he was like Monty, like right away.
Well, he know that he'd definitely get food and drinks.
That is smart.
Yeah, he is. He's good like that. He's very appreciative.
I
So you got the so what is it tonight? You're here at Governor's?
Tonight we are right next door to you two, right there in the main room at Governor's, 8:00. Me and the very funny Rich Walker.
Nice.
That was my next question. Who allowed that to happen?
I have no idea. They must have been really scraping the bottom of the barrel for comics.
That's
Everybody
right.
must be booked.
Well, that's in all seriousness. That's why I was surprised that you got it because you're a busy guy. I was surprised this last
You know
minute
what?
gig.
I was supposed to do something else tonight a few weeks ago. It got scrapped. They moved the date, and so I'm open. I let the club know, hey, I'm open if anything comes up, and even the feature, whatever, I'll come out and just I love the club and all that. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if they had somebody in the club for tonight or not, and something got canceled. But
Right.
anyway, I'm
Happy
glad that they said,
accidents.
hey, you want to come? What's that?
Happy accident. Whatever it was.
Right. So, but I'm happy to be coming down tonight, working my home club. It's going to be fun. Hopefully, we get some people to come out.
Oh, absolutely. Why wouldn't they? It's freaking Chris Monty and Rich Walker. That's a good show, man.
Yeah.
Well,
And
you
who
never
knows-
disappoint.
and Who knows? Right. And who knows who else?
Yeah, I don't know who's.
Question mark, question mark, question mark. Yeah, I'm
We'll
actually.
find
I'm
out
probably.
at 8:00 or 7:00 when I get there.
I'm probably going to be here checking out Billy Geyer is on the Giggle Room show that's tonight, so I might be able to
Thanks
catch you
for
guys.
that plug on my segment.
I almost didn't, and then I was like, you know what? Fuck this guy.
Real serious question while we got you. Is Mike Keegan really gay? And how many times have you had sex with him?
I've never had sex with him because I'm not a chubby chaser.
Nice.
But
Well, I don't know if you've seen him recently.
True.
no, he's losing weight. He looks great. I think he's gay, but it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
And I don't bang gay guys, so.
I only sleep with straight men.
And it's all right. So I will get serious for a minute. You're talking about how you had a gig, something, whatever happened, it got canceled. That's a big deal, right? And I'm hoping. I'm hoping it doesn't happen too often because obviously we're not making our living when things get canceled.
Sometimes things get canceled. I always work with a contract, so when something gets canceled, I at least have a deposit. But
Nice.
what happened is a couple things this month got moved, and that happens. I was supposed to do a fundraiser for an organization, and the head of the organization had a health issue, so she decided, while she's undergoing treatments, she'll be better after the holidays. She's going to do it in the spring instead. So stuff like that happens. Things get moved. I had something that was supposed to be tonight, but it got moved. So when it gets moved last minute, it's hard to fill a date. Luckily, me and Rich Walker were open for, and Governors had something moved, so we'll come down and hang out. Listen. I'm on the road so much. I love when I get to work at Governors and sleep in my own bed.
And that's kind of where I was going.
That's awesome.
Because I would, I'm sure there's a lot of comedians that probably panic when something like this happens. Because again, you're not getting paid otherwise. So, but you find, a positive to it. Like you said, you get to be home with the kids and sleep in your own bed.
Like tonight, if Governors hadn't called me, I just probably would have had a family night with my wife and the girls, and and whatever, and that would have been cool too. Of course, my wife gets upset when I take jobs. Like originally I had said, "Oh, I'm not working on Friday night." Well, we'll all go to dinner, as a family. We'll go somewhere, or we'll do something here. And then, the other day the club said, "Hey, are you available Friday?" And without even checking with my wife, I said, "Yes, I'm available." But
that was smart.
I always get out of it because my daughter's my little one who's sleeping now. That's why I was like, so what time am I coming on? Because she goes to bed at 11. And then I'm like, I told you, I'll come on your show at 11:05. And then I'm like, you know what? If she doesn't fall asleep right away, then I'm gonna have to make it 11:30. But she fell asleep right away, so I came on early.
Nice.
But she's turning 1, my little girl Emily, on next week. So I'm having a party this Sunday. So I'm paying for the party, the food, the drinks. A 1-year-old party is really a party for the adults, not for the children.
Exactly right.
So that's how I get out of trouble with my wife. I'm like, but I got a party to pay for. I got to go make money.
That's the beauty of kids. We can use them for excuses and child labor. That's why we have them.
Yeah,
exactly. I love that my 4-year-old is very active. Now, when I drop something, I don't have to bend down and pick it up. I just like, Olivia, get that for me.
That is the best.
Perfect. Does she get you your drinks?
She does know how to mix a cocktail. Yes, she's very well trained.
Very nice.
Doing it the right way.
And I'm the same way. I've been, which I know you're familiar with. I've been working the White Post Fall Festival.
So it's the same exact thing as you having those 2 kids.
No. He knows.
You got that times 1,000.
No. He knows because he used to work it.
Right.
I worked the festival back in I would say 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those years, me and Rich Walker worked the festival.
Yeah.
The main stage show. First, I started out as children's karaoke.
Oh my goodness! Really? I didn't know that.
That's how I first started there. 2003, 2004. I was doing karaoke in one of the corn patches.
Right.
And then
no wonder it took you so long.
And then Rich was doing the main stage. Rich Walker was doing the main stage show.
Right.
And then that was becoming boring. So he's like, why don't we get Chris Monty to join me and we can put together a comedy show for kids. And so we did that for 6 years.
Oh, yeah.
So is running children's karaoke, is that great birth control or the greatest birth control?
The greatest. and you know what the worst part of was? It was during the time of what's her name? Britney Spears was
Sure.
new on the scene.
Yeah, I'm
and,
thinking of that time. The Wiggles would have been huge, right?
the Wiggles. They didn't really do the Wiggle stuff, but they did like, you had like 8-year-olds singing, "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time" and all that. I was like, what the hell
I'm a
is going on
and
here?
a bottle. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Gross.
the one good thing about it was you got to check out the hot moms all day.
Hell yeah.
Dude,
That's the best thing about kids is the hot moms.
Yeah.
And the festival, the beginning of the festival when it first starts, it's still kind of warm out, so they're not like there's not big long coats covering the bodies. So that's
Right.
That's one of the beauties.
First the last 2 weekends in September is when it's still 75 degrees every day,
Right.
and the moms are coming out with their tank tops.
Right.
And I don't know if you knew this. Tony has like this radar thing of like anytime a woman bends over, he just looks.
Yeah, there's an antenna.
There's something
attached.
about him. Yeah, it's the leg.
Yeah.
Now, Tony, what are you doing? Are you the greeter?
I took Buddy Flip's place. This is my 6th year doing it.
Wow,
so
that's a long day, isn't it? Though
it's a long day. I'm on my foot all day long. I between.
Can't wait to get home and get off my foot.
Exactly.
My foot's killing me.
But I'll tell you, between doing this show every day and then doing that every weekend, I've said it for a long time now. I'm sick of myself. I've never talked so much in my life.
And are you doubling up? Are you doubling up like I used to do? So are you doing your play and stuff like that on the weekends at night?
I am doing the festival tomorrow, and then I'm doing a murder mystery at McGuire's.
Right, because I used to always book myself local during the festival. But Friday night, sometimes I would be in like Philly or South Jersey. I would get home at like midnight, 1 a.m. And back then I was still in my 30s. So I was able to hang out, I was single. I was going to the local pub when I got home at 1 a.m. in my neighborhood, and then going to bed at 3 a.m, and then getting up at 9 for that damn festival. And I was like hurting all day Saturday.
Yep.
And then I couldn't even nap. I would leave there at 5:30 and go right to a gig.
This week, this coming Wednesday, I'm leaving for England. I'm leaving late, well, that's right, and I'm getting there Thursday morning, seeing my friend's concert Thursday night, coming home Friday. Then late
And
Friday,
Saturday doing the festival,
and then doing another murder mystery that Saturday night, and
It's tough.
then the festival the next day.
And it was even tougher when you were hungover because like I said, I'd be doing shows every night and then hanging out with comics till 3 a.m.
Right. Well, and that's what I was going to say.
Sundays
But I'm old now.
Sundays were the worst day.
Yes.
Sundays were the worst day. You know what I used to do? I used to actually. This is how long ago it was. I used to VHS. Like the Jets game on Sunday.
Right.
And back then you had flip phones. You can avoid contact. I would tell all my friends, don't call me on Sunday. I'd get home at like 7 o'clock. I'd have a bottle of wine. I'd grab some takeout from the pizzeria, and I'd pop in the game and watch the game at 8 o'clock at night. And then Monday, I would sleep all day Monday because I was hurting because Rich and I were doing a show where we would dance and sing, and it was just brutal. In boots, in cowboy boots.
And you're not? Are you normal? Like, did you ever sing before? Before that, or do you sing or no?
I can carry a tune, but I don't sing. I'm not trained or anything. We were just doing, kiddie songs that you can skate through. If you have a half of a voice, you can get by.
I don't know about back then, but since I've been doing it, Rich Walker, he's not doing it anymore, but the show's no longer there. But every year that I was there,
He got shit canned.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Well, then what happened was I left on my own accord, but a lot of the talent, like Richie and the girl, I forget her name. There was a girl that was in Richie's show, and there was a guy that wrote it, and they were getting paid top dollar because they were there for a long time. So I'm sure the farm just said, you know what? We don't need to pay these guys all this money when we can get anything here.
Yeah. They spend a lot of money, man. They bring in top-notch entertainment, man. They really. I mean, there's a guy running a game show now.
Is, I'll tell you a funny story. Do you remember the great Vince D'Antona and George?
Yes, I do actually.
So Vince was a legendary ventriloquist and Long Island legend. His home club was McGuire's, and so a couple of years back when I was doing it, they needed another show because they have the main stage if you're walking through the farm, and then in the back in the cornfields they'll have little squares, and they had like the karaoke in one, they had something else in another one, and then they had a magic show in one of them, and they wanted to have another entertainer. So Richie Walker suggested, why don't you get Vince D'Antona? He's a ventriloquist and he does a family show. He could do 20-minute shows. So Richie calls Vince and George is the dummy, and Vince is the man. And so Richie calls Vince and says, "Hey, Vince, White Post Farms is looking for a ventriloquist to do shows. It's $300. No, it's back then I think it was $150 for the day or whatever. So you got Saturday and Sunday. He goes, it's $150 on Saturday and Sunday, but you do 6 shows each day. So Vince is thinking he's getting $150 per show.
Right. Yeah.
So Vince is like, oh my God, that's great. And then at night I can leave and do my nighttime shows. And Richie goes, yeah. And then Richie realized what Vince was thinking. So Richie goes, wait, Vince, I just want to clarify something. It's $150 for the day, not $150 per show.
Right.
And Vince doesn't say anything. And Rich goes, Vince, are you there? And Vince goes, hold on, Richie. George is laughing.
That's fantastic.
But Vince worked out a deal where they paid him a little bit more, and he wound up doing a great job for them.
They take good care of their people there. I really enjoy it. The first time I ever met Roach actually was there. He was doing a game show there, and he was drunk.
He was doing a game show, Coyote Chris.
Right, and he was drunk out of his head. I remember watching this guy. Like, it was so obvious that he was drunk, and he was having all sorts of fun, doing all sorts of wacky shit. I'm watching, like, what is this guy doing? So but it's tough to entertain kids all day. So how drunk were you when you were doing it? Plus, you got to work with Walker.
I wasn't even drunk. I was just hungover in the morning. I'll never forget. We'd get there. I'd stop at the deli and grab an egg sandwich and a coffee. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, you're like, after drinking whiskey all night and eating eggs and coffee, you're like, after the first show, you're like, okay, I can't go to that outhouse. I got to go to a real bathroom.
Right. But the whole reason I brought it up in the first place was because I was gonna acknowledge what you said about if a gig gets canceled, you just get to stay home. I find that to be the same way. I find it positive. We've had 4 rainouts this year so far at White Post, which is a lot. We've only done 3 days because there's been 4 rainouts. But that's the thing, when you're older like us, we have kids.
Compensate you? Because Richie and I fought for compensation years ago. We used to, I used to block off the weekends and not go away and take my nighttime gigs. And sometimes I'd have an open weekend because I could, there's only 3 clubs on Long Island and there's only so many clubs in Northeast New Jersey. So if I didn't book something because I had to be at White Post Farms and then we got rained out, I would say, listen, you got to give me some money. I mean, I blocked this weekend for you. And then in the beginning, they weren't paying us for rainouts. But then Richie and I fought for it. That's probably why Richie's not there anymore. And and they wound up giving us like a 50% pay for a rainout.
Wow. See, you need to organize us and be our leader and fight for stuff like that for us. Will you do that?
You just got to tell them. You say, listen, man, I committed. And then they're probably, somebody's probably watching that goes to White Post Farms. I don't want to say anything bad about them because I've gone to parties there and they were good to me. And I know Ron and I knew Ron Sr. when he was alive. God rest his soul. And this guy, Bill, who was Ron's brother-in-law, who's actually the one who brought me and Richie in because he saw us at a comedy club. But yeah, I mean, if you're committing to the 6 weeks or whatever it is, you should at least get compensated if you have 4 rainouts.
Yeah. Well, there's a guy running their game show now. He's from Oklahoma. He flies in, does the weekend, flies back, comes back the following Friday to do.
What is he, an NFL referee?
That's the thing. So I even said to him, I go, we were talking about the rainouts.
For $150, the flight costs more.
Well, that's what I said to him. I go, have you been flying back and forth only to get rained out? And he goes, yeah. I go, are they covering the airfare? And he goes, no. He goes, that's on me. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, they used to have a guy come up from like Oklahoma to do like they used to have, years ago, I don't know if they had them anymore, but they used to have the pig races.
No, they stopped that, yeah.
So they used to have the pig races, and they had a guy drive up. He would drive up from like Oklahoma with his trailer, and he had like a dozen pigs that were trained.
Yeah,
and he would drive, and he would just stay. He had a camper, and he would just sleep in his camper the whole week.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Were the pig races fixed?
They weren't fixed
because you said they were trained.
Yeah, these pigs they knew the race. Like they know what they did was they trained them with food. You don't feed them all day, and then you put a piece of food, and they run towards the food.
And again, that's why the ASPCA shut them down.
Right. Well, now they have dog shows. One of them, I believe, is the dog act from America's Got Talent that beat Cotter. I believe that's one of them. But yeah, they bring in this guy from Oklahoma. And then
That's funny.
they have Magic Show. They have this slub, but but that's why I brought it up, just to point out that when it does
You're gonna
rain,
get rained out again tomorrow.
that's supposedly that's what they're saying. It's supposed to rain again, but that's what I mean. The when you're talking about a gig getting canceled, so you just get to stay home. That's the thing too. I find, well, all right, well, great. Well, now I get to go. My daughter plays in her special needs bowling league Saturday afternoon. So I'm like, oh, all right. Well, I'm losing some money, but at least I still get to see my kids. Right. So
yeah, and for me, I always 95% of the time I had a nightclub gig booked. So at least I was working. And then sometimes on Sunday, I used to love Sunday rainouts. That's when I wanted them, because I wanted to just sleep in and then watch football.
Right.
I'm like, oh, I don't have to get up and drive out to Long Island, because back then I was living in Central Queens.
Right. And you have been lately. It's at least it seems like more. You've been traveling a lot lately. It seems like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not traveling far. I'm traveling, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New Jersey, like that. But sometimes it's South Jersey. I stay over. It's a lot of sleeping on the road. This weekend, luckily, I'm working local. I'm in Governor's tonight. Please come out to Governor's, 8:00, Levittown, govs.com. Get your tickets.
Yep.
And then tomorrow I'm working in Old Bridge, New Jersey, which is about an hour, 60 miles away. So it's not far.
That's not bad. Yeah, very nice. And you and Walker, you be doing anything together? I love the videos you guys were making for a while.
Yeah, they're on TikTok now. Richie has them on his TikTok page. So if you follow Rich Walker on TikTok, you can check out. He posts videos every day. The old sketches that we used to do. We haven't done any in a while, but we want to start back up again. So,
yeah, I enjoyed those. Yeah. But live on stage, like, you don't want him, making you look bad. So you don't bring him out for anything, right?
We're not a team.
Right.
I work alone. I used to be in a team. I'm done with that.
That's right. And now, all right. And then also last week, your boys finally won. You think that's
the Jets?
Yeah. You think that's the one for the year or what?
No, they'll probably win a few more games. They'll definitely beat the Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they can get a win this week and just surprise everybody with maybe the Eagles are looking past the Jets, then which I don't. The Jets have never beat the Philadelphia Eagles in their history.
Oh, really?
They're 0-12 lifetime against the Eagles.
Wow.
I mean, 12. That's not many, but still.
Yeah, but they consider they only play once every 3 years.
Right. So
Yeah.
you're talking about different eras
back,
and everything. Yeah.
And they only started playing, back in the 70s and 60s, the NFC and AFL didn't play each other during the season.
Yep.
So that's why it's only since the 80s. But, if maybe the defense can step up and get a pick six and steal one. But if, I'm not expecting them to win. But if they did, if you think about it, if they do sneak out a win, originally, even with Aaron Rodgers, we were looking at the schedule going, if we get to the bye week at 3-3, we're in good shape. So if we win this week, we'll be 3-3, and they have a bye the week after. So,
yeah, what do you think? This kid Wilson thought he would just be, hanging out all season, and I was like, holy shit, I got to do something now.
Yeah, I mean, he thought he'd be learning under Aaron, but you know what?
Right.
I don't know. Personally, for me, I think they missed on the coach again. I think the team looks like they're not ready to play every Sunday for the first half.
Right.
Like, what are you guys doing all week,
Right. Oh, and speaking of coaches, what do you think? The Long Island Ducks, they parted ways with Wally Backman. What do you think? They should grab him to replace Buck?
They won't. I would love to have him, but they won't, because this guy Stearns wants a puppet. He said in his interview, I just want someone that can manage people so that the general manager's office can sit down and dictate what to do in game. They don't want game managers, but look who's in the the ALCS right now. Two managers that are old school game managers.
Right.
Yeah. Bochy and who's the other one that you're referring to?
And Dusty, right?
Yeah. Oh, Dusty, right. Of course, right. Yep.
You got Dusty and Bochy, two old school. Look who's going to the World Series. One of those teams with an old school manager, not these analytical guys that just sit back and let the front office tell them who to bring in from the bullpen.
Yep, you're absolutely right about that.
They're going to get Craig Counsell or one of these weasels.
Yeah, I hope not. I think it's going to be Counsell too, but I hope not. Ugh. Back in 2016, I went to England to visit my buddy, and it was on my plane while I was on the flight. What's that?
Nothing. I'm just checking my monitor.
Rock and roll.
No crying. Everything's quiet.
She's in my bed, so that's why I just don't want her to fall.
Oh yeah, I feel you.
To the floor.
6 feet to the floor. Holy shit. That's a
We got a
tall
new
bed.
mattress. It's ridiculous. You climb on top of it, your nose bleeds.
You have a Sherpa that helps you get in every night?
I'm okay, but my wife's shorter than me, so she needs a ladder.
Your wife is, I think your wife is great,
I'm sorry,
by the
cut
way.
your story off. Finish your English story.
Oh, God,
I'm
I
on
was
the
saying thank you.
I'm on the plane just as the Giants knocked the Mets out of the wild card. I get to England. I'm working with my buddy, the musician, and Huey Lewis is a part of this thing that we're working on. So he introduces me to Huey Lewis, and I know that at the time he was a big San Francisco fan. So first thing I said to him, I said, "Your freaking Giants just blew my Mets out." He pulls out his phone. He's showing me text from Bochy that Huey was one of the first guys he texted after they won the game.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, actually made me feel a little bit
And
better.
now you have this name-dropping story.
There you go.
And now you got a name dropping story.
Hey,
I got an offer to do a corporate gig for Johnson & Johnson in 2 weeks. I don't know if I'm going to get it, but if I do get it, Woody Johnson and Chris Johnson will be at the event.
Wow, very nice.
So I'm definitely going to tell those two losers what I think of their organization. After I get my check, of course.
Yeah, good thing they're not watching this.
Oh, no, I don't think they're watching.
Thank God. There's no way they're watching this.
Hey, and you know, since we're name dropping, you've done a lot of you've done. I thought I got.
There's a fly in here that's
know,
fucking driving us nuts.
He's in
Just
our
so
faces.
If you see any sort of weird motions,
yeah, with the name dropping, you've done quite a bit of work with Kevin James. So he must be loyal to X amount of people because he does bring back a lot of the same guys a lot for various projects.
Yeah, I mean, Roach is touring with him right now.
Right,
And
yeah.
And he sent me Kevin through Roach. Kevin reached out to see how I'm doing and say
nice.
hello.
Cool.
So, but yeah, you know, he's a good guy. You know, if he does any projects, he likes to use the Long Island guys. You know, the crew.
That's great.
Nice.
Yeah. You got any acting gigs coming up, or I guess probably not because of the strike,
The
right?
strike just ended, so hopefully
did
I'll
it?
start getting some more auditions.
Oh, the actors' strike just ended.
I think the writer's strike ended.
Right, the writers' strike
writers,
ended,
but
but
the
the actors are
actors are
still
still-
they're still out there, I believe.
SAG-AFTRA?
Well, I don't know because I got a few guys out of union and they've been going out on auditions, and I'm like, how are you going on auditions if they're on strike?
Because it is different
Yeah, there's
sectors,
right.
kind of thing. Yeah,
Right, that's how I believe that's how Drew Barrymore got her show back up and running. There were different rules and
Right.
regulations because it's not like a sitcom.
still a
or
dick
something.
move, but yes,
Right.
Yeah, but Joey's back at work, so
yeah.
So-
So that's the only important thing.
yeah. Right. All right. Last thing, and I'll let you go. I appreciate the time as always.
No problem. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, of course. Anytime, pal. Anytime. What? One thing I didn't know about you until trying to get some questions together for today.
This is one of these things. You're always digging for shit, Tony.
Yeah, that's right. I try to make it look like I know what I'm doing in here, because I don't. You've done some work with improv groups in the past.
Yeah. I used to be part of. Peter Bale started an improv group back in, I want to say, like the year 2000.
I don't think I knew that.
Well, our
We were called. Shoot, what the heck were we called? Something like big hair, bad accents, something like that.
right.
That's funny.
And that was I couldn't even tell you. All I can know is Jim Brannigan, who was a comic and an actor on Long Island, who kind of you don't see him too much anymore. But it was him. It was myself. It was a guy named AJ Gentile who moved to California, and a few others. Julia Minerva was a comic that was in the group back in them days, and then that kind of fizzled out. And then me and Jim and Gentile and this girl Susan Dunn, we formed our own troupe.
That's our
Jim-
connection is Susie Dunn.
And Susie Dunn, yeah, I'm friends with Susie. I haven't seen her in a while, but her and Jim Brannigan's wife, we formed our own troupe and we called ourselves the Other Group. And we did some shows for about a year and a half. Library, small theaters, stuff like that. It was a lot of fun.
Was this you were doing the stand up at the same time? You were doing the stand up at the same
I
time,
was doing
right?
stand up at the same time, yeah.
Did the improv kind of did it? I'm right. You haven't done it in years, right? I'm assuming, right?
I haven't done improv. The last time I did improv was I went to Susan Dunn's house for a dinner party, like right before the pandemic, and we were messing around. It was the old group back together again. We had a dinner party, and our wives and husbands and stuff, and we all we were just goofing around after a few bottles of wine.
But all right, so I'm asking because I'm curious if it helped. Like, did it help the comedy at all, or did the comedy help the improv? Did it
both
not
help each other? I think.
Yeah.
Every bit of experience on stage, whether you're acting or you're doing stand up, it definitely contributes to your your
Overall.
comfortability and your, if that's a real word, and your your performance. I think it enhances your performance in every way. It definitely helped me with storytelling in my stand up.
right?
Somebody get Tony a shot of Robitussin.
No, you know what it is? The other night,
Allergies.
I was at rehearsals for the Murder Mysteries. We rehearse on Wednesdays. My business partner, Eric, he has this little tiny dog. I don't even know what kind of dog it is, but this thing, he likes to jump up on you, and then he, like, turns sideways and just, like, presses his side against your face. He does it with everybody. And so at first, like, almost like he's hugging you, almost like the paws like on each shoulder. So at first I'm laughing, I'm letting him do it. A few minutes later, I'll push him off. Then he'll come back up, he'll do it again, and I've just been sneezing my ass off ever. It looks like I have a cold, but I don't. It's just an allergic reaction to this.
I got the allergies too. The spring and the fall, everything's falling out of the trees now. It kicks up.
Yep. And all I have to do is look at a cat, and I start sneezing.
Me too. I'm the same way. If somebody has a cat, I did a show with a comic, and she hugged me, hello, and 10 seconds later, I started sneezing. I said, "Do you have a cat?" She goes, "I have 3 cats." I said, "Oh my God, get away from me!"
Yep.
Oh my God, this sounds like Allison Chadwick.
Oh, really? Yeah. I once went to a friend's house for dinner. I had no idea he had 6 cats. I didn't last 10 minutes, and then I was sick for 2 weeks.
Dude, my 30-year reunion was supposed to be this summer, but it ended up getting canceled. It's like my comedy career. It got canceled for the low ticket sales. And
low ticket sales.
So my friends and I still got together. We went over to this one guy's house, doesn't have kids, and everybody was supposed to be staying there. 9 fucking cats.
Oh.
9 cats. Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now,
He's
wait,
not
what year
watching.
did you graduate?
93.
Oh, you're younger than me. All right.
All of
I
us
can't
are.
imagine by much, but
No, 3 years. I graduated 90. That's why you said 30-year reunion. So that's what made me trigger. We only had like a 10 and a 20. That was all we had. Then the pandemic hit for our 25th. I
oh
think,
yeah, wow.
Yeah, he said 30-year reunion, so I guess math wasn't your strong point in school.
No.
Yeah.
I like it.
Only odds. I only can tell you what the odds would pay out on more.
Yeah, there you go. All right, cool. So yeah, tonight. What time is showtime? 8?
8 o'clock tonight. Come out. Doors open at 6. If you want to get something to eat, they got a full menu.
Do it.
And we'll be kicking it up at 8 o'clock on the main stage tonight. Man, I can't wait. I'm excited to be back. I haven't been on the main stage at Governor's because I did a couple of Giggle Room shows over the summer and in this last spring.
Right.
So, and I've been on the road, so I haven't been on the main stage probably since last year. So
Oh,
I'm
wow.
looking forward to it.
I love the Giggle Room. It's since it became the Giggle Room, it just has a different atmosphere to me. It's a nice, intimate, almost like a real city comedy club type vibe.
Right.
I love it. Hey.
Yeah, I produced a couple shows there myself, and we sold them out. When it's sold out, it's really, it gets tight because it's, if there's 90 people in there.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, it's a good intimate room. But I'm looking forward to being in the main room because it's been a while.
Very nice. Cool. Excellent. So, that's tonight at 8 o'clock. Govs.com. You will not be disappointed with this man. He knows it. I tell him all the time. He's one of my absolute favorites. And that goes back to before I even knew him.
You're sweet, Tony. Thank you.
Absolutely. So have a great time tonight, even though Rich is going to be here. But
don't worry. I'm sure there's plenty of alcohol to get me through that.
Nice.
all right, so that's tonight. Govs.com. Chris Monty. You got any specials or anything that you need to push, or you just want to give us the socials?
Just Chris Monty Live for Instagram, and comedian Chris Monty on TikTok and Facebook. You can find me at Chris Monty, and I'm going to be taping a YouTube comedy special in 2024. So when that comes in the works, I'll definitely come on and
please come and push it. Yeah.
maybe I can come in studio and hang out with you guys for a show.
Oh, that would be awesome.
A babysitter.
Yeah, Yeah, I'll make sure he's not here.
I'll bring Dally. I'll bring Dally.
Oh, all right, never mind.
He's
Yes.
talking next door, but
now
that
I can
was fine.
come.
Little spread. Yeah.
So you're working on new material for that?
Yeah, all different stories about what's going on in life now as an old dad.
Nice. So and some of that'll be tonight as well.
Yeah, I got some material from that's going to be on that that's fresh about how we had to have our second child and all that stuff. So come out. Plus, I'll probably dust off my Halloween material for tonight.
Very nice. And I'm sure you have a lot of jihad material for today as well.
Oh,
Yes, I got my jihad and my Gaza.
All right, cool. Thank you, pal, as always,
Thank you.
for hanging out. We always appreciate
Hope I
it.
see you, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see you tonight. Pop, you headed to the green room.
Yeehaw.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Chris.
All right, gents, have a great weekend. Hope you don't get rained out, Tony.
Thanks, brother. I'll see you soon.
Peace.
All right, bye-bye.
See ya. There you go. All right. Chris Monty, ladies and gentlemen. God, love
All
that
class.
guy.
Yep.
He's fantastic.
Hilarious.
Very nice. Let me just
Watch out. We'll wait until the kid wakes up. Probably only has about 10 more minutes.
Yeah,
and then we'll start talking shit about him.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So let's wait another 10 minutes, and then that motherfucker never comes in here.
Jelly.
That's why I didn't want to keep him on. Yeah, right. Fucking, you're working, man. You get us something better than that.
How about something hot?
Stop at IHOP at least. It's right across the street.
Some tortellini. Something.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to keep him terribly long. I think he was on for at least a half hour.
Yeah, I think it's about a little over half an hour.
But I knew the kid would be waking up like that. Remember that one time? What did he do? 5 minutes with us, and then he had to go because the kid woke up. The kid, his daughter. I'm sorry.
The kid.
Sorry.
It woke up. And you know what? It's the kid, the younger one is getting to be one. Like this is when the naps start getting a little less free. Like the first thing you notice is the times of the naps start getting shorter and shorter, and then they start skipping one of the naps.
Yep.
Like this is for my kids. This would have been the nap that they gave up first.
Yeah, I believe that's the same for me.
And then the afternoon nap was still
right.
That was the last one to go.
Plus, they say you're not supposed to do this, but we all do it. During the naps is when you start trying to catch up on other things. So I'm sure he has other things.
Yeah, that's how I learned how to cast porn onto my TV.
I was doing laundry. What do you mean? Really?
Laundry? I was making laundry. I see Carol. Andy is so quiet during interviews because I'm thinking about you.
Good answer. Look at that.
No, I you know what? It's funny because as a sociopath, I have to monitor how much I'm interrupting, and I did feel like I was starting to interrupt a little too much, especially in the beginning.
With Monty?
Yeah, no,
I didn't get that at all.
It's a very real. It is a very real thing. Because I can respond to almost anything somebody is saying.
Right.
I don't need to respond to everything people are saying. So
right, but that goes for both of us.
He's here to plug. You've done research and have questions and whatnot. So I like to take a back seat to it and just every now and then drop in.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I mean, I do have the questions, but I don't care if I don't get to them all. I just have them in case. But I'm all about the conversations with everybody involved.
And absolutely, I will try to pick my places.
Sure.
Try to.
Right.
But right in the beginning, I'm like,
yeah. And you know what it is?
Calm down.
I have noticed that with a lot of from being in here for almost 6 years at this point. A lot of shows when they're new, or even a lot of times when we do Green Room, where you have a lot of comedians at the same time who might not have a podcast or don't do it often, where there is a lot of talking over. And sometimes I'll sit here, especially when it's a full room and they all start talking over each other, and I just sit back. So I'm like, if I was watching this at home, I'd be like, I can't understand anything.
I'm thinking about that night that me, Winchell, Billy, Fat Jay, we all went out and got high and then came in here and did that podcast.
that was one of the nights I sat back.
Yeah. Sorry,
but it was fine. It was totally fine.
It was a good time.
It was a great time, and I love all those guys. I saw Jack Adam here last night.
Oh, nice.
He played the brokerage, and then he was here after.
Yeah.
But we had. I don't know if you happened to catch it. We did a Green Room show. It was the last one we did 2 weeks ago.
I did not.
We had. Do you know? And I keep bringing him up because he's like my new best friend, Sean Elliott.
So
holy shit, is
when
he a cool
did
guy.
his first round at McGuire's.
Oh, for the laugh off.
For the laugh off. Luckily, I was not part of the contingent that was lifted him up onto the stage.
Right.
I let the younger.
Yeah.
I won't say in better shape because I don't think they are.
Yeah. Right.
But the younger comics, they all went and helped Truson get him up there.
He was here. We did the green room with him, Ivory Fields, and
I love Ivory.
Yeah, it was my first time meeting him. And Laura Patton was here, and she met this comedian JJ. It's gonna kill me. JJ something. He's from I think Alabama or Atlanta or something. So he came up. Oh, that would have been cool if you got him from behind like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's
you
with
should
Bosie
see me,
who was watching.
You should see me fuck flies doggy style. It's kind of disturbing.
Still hot.
I'm not gonna lie.
But yeah, so this kid AJ is black. So it was Ivory, JJ, and Sean Elliott, and me and Don.
Right.
We did nothing but get racial on each other for 2 hours,
Right.
laughing our asses off.
And they walked out of
fantastic.
here and were like, "Those fucking racist pieces of shit."
Well, 2 of them walked out of here. One rolled out. But yes, they were all saying that. Yeah.
Yes.
But then Sean came in this past Monday, and we basically continued.
I know. I
it.
watched.
Yeah.
I did get to watch.
I had
that.
he's great.
He's
man.
a very funny dude.
I really like that guy.
And actually, not to provide any kind of controversy, and everybody has their own opinions. When we were sitting out in the back of Fat Jay's car on the side here after the Laugh Off finals, and it's so funny because Alex was standing there with us, who won, and this older couple came out and they're like, we're like, "Hey, did you enjoy yourself?" I think Emily was even hanging out with us. "Oh, did you enjoy yourself?" And they're like, yeah, but our guy didn't win. And we were like, oh, yeah, we thought Sean Elliott was the funniest, but we found out he went overtime. And it's like, and it is contest season. I mean, it starts with the laugh off and it goes through all the way up to, it's probably going to end in December. There's sort of different contests on Long Island. I always tell people time and your brings. You have to make sure, because you are not in the conversation.
Right.
I know it sounds terrible, but it's
true.
But
Yeah.
it is part of the rules. You know about it beforehand.
Right.
It's not a surprise.
But when you say time, there's a double meaning there. Time on stage, but also be on time for the show.
Yeah, bullshit. Let's not. Wow, I didn't think I was going to get fucking hurt today. That wasn't about me, by the way.
It's not about you. No,
because I'm usually like, I'm like there an hour before the doors open time.
That was a little inside joke for those.
But
yeah. And speaking of, you mentioned being a psychopath. Speaking of psychopaths,
no, I didn't. You asshole.
you did. You called yourself a psychopath. Oh. But speaking of psychopaths, Nick Greystone is watching. He says, "Hi, Tony," and is glad you are good. LOL. I was just here 12 hours ago with Nick Greystone. But he just says hi to me, not you.
Yeah, I don't know him. That's
So
totally
what? But he's still
fucking
watching
normal.
the show. And, when you're acknowledging the show and saying hi to
Right.
the host, say hi. Say, "Hey, Andy, I'm Nick Greystone. I
No,
also
no,
host
no.
the show
If
here."
you already know me
Yeah.
and you're coming on the show, you should mention me when you're promoting it. That's also an inside joke.
Yep.
None of those people are watching, so I'm safe.
All right, so we I touched upon it quickly with Chris when he was watching.
Tony likes to touch on things.
That's right, little things. And he, I have no idea what that even meant.
Yeah, no, it sounds like something really fucked up, though.
Yeah, it did. Came out.
I
yeah.
started working on a joke because of a real conversation I got with my daughters yesterday. So I was talking about boys' haircuts because I often tell them I got basically 2, maybe 3 haircuts a year.
Okay.
My head was shaved at the beginning of the summer.
Right.
We got crew cuts, and then I would get one shortly before school pictures, like a week before school pictures. Then I might not get another one until I got my head shaved in the summer. But sometimes in the spring, as I got older, and I cared about what I looked like. But I was like, oh, I hate that trend of little boys with their stupid faux hawks. I'm like, is that even still a thing? And they're like, no, not really. You know, there's a couple of kids that might have it every now and then for school pictures and things like that. But they mentioned mullets.
Oh, mullets are coming back?
They are. And I actually, like, when they said it, it hit me. I did see this kid. But the thing is we lived through mullets in real time.
Yeah.
The first real mullet kind of era. And And it was like, that's just what you got. You went in and said, yes, I'd like a trim. And they cut your hair into a mullet.
Pretty much,
there was no, it's sort of like there's a haircut, and it's kind of the haircut I have now. This is you go into a Long Island barber, this is the haircut you're coming out with.
Yeah.
Everybody's got different patterns of hair, types of hair, or whatever, but we're all coming out with this. That's what mullets were in the 80s.
Right.
These kids are getting the fucking white trash mullets, like the crazy ones, which look cool on hockey players. Like they're all getting the Jaromir Jagr now.
Wow,
and it's like, oh my God, you want your kid to look like a complete douchebag? But then the girl said something about man bun, and I'm like, man bun? Where the fuck are you seeing a man bun?
You mean like Saliani?
In elementary school.
Really?
Who has a man bun? And if you are seeing a man bun, why is it not called a boy bun?
Boy bun.
But that sounds like it's more of a Catholic church thing.
Yes, it does.
Yes, that ends up being the joke. But
they are trying to bring the mullet back, not in my chair, says Carol.
Well, it is, and it's all like, I knew this kid, and his name was Jeff, and he was a dick, and they're all getting Jeff from camp. They're all getting Jeff mullets, and it's like, stop.
Well, Carol, do you give hairstyles? Are you a hairstylist for men also? You know, when women they say they're hairstylists, I just assume it's just women. I'm weird.
The next thing you know, they'll bring the fucking rat tail back.
The rat. I forgot about the rat.
God, I knew this kid, Todd. Of course, Todd had a fucking rat tail. He also he would bring this turtle in, and the turtle would walk along desks and shit on them.
What?
And I'm like, don't put it on my fucking desk.
Yeah, really, get this thing out of it. You shit on my desk, I'm going to smash
have
the
it
turtle.
In like a little travel terrarium, and it's like, thank God we weren't in 6th grade together.
Wow.
Because he brought it in a few times. And I'm an old soul. So even in 6th grade, I was like, what the fuck do you have a turtle in school for?
Yeah, I would say the same thing.
So.
Todd the turtle. But so I was asking. So
sorry.
No, it's cool. The girls. Really. Did you anything with your district today with this whole?
So they said, they sent an email, and I think before we got on, I said that Daphne this morning we always have the news on in the morning, and so Daphne's like, oh wait, what's that about? And so I kind of gave the Reader's Digest version of like the history of Israel and Palestine. I wish I had an animated cartoon to show them.
Yeah, right.
But we ended up like, kind of, we didn't even talk about the possible danger. The kids don't need to fucking know that.
Yeah,
here.
True. Yeah.
I mean, everybody's making their own choices or whatever, but you're setting yourself up for failure. By involving them in something like that. So I know our district, they said that the Suffolk County Police are going to be more present, so please don't get freaked out.
Right.
I don't know. In 1998, 97. Who's the guy they shot in the face and dumped his body in the ocean so they couldn't create a shrine? Osama bin Laden.
Oh.
In 1997, Osama bin Laden issued a fatwa to attack all military members who were American military members who were traveling in uniform. That's the first time I heard that guy's name. Was 97. That's why it was not a surprise in 2001. But yeah, that became very real of like realizing like, because I was young, 97, 22. I turned 22, so I was 21 most of 97. So you're young and stupid, and you're like, oh my God, people don't like us.
Right.
That's not like the movies I watch. All the movies is like, oh, no matter God, thank God you're here. Rambo, come on. The Vietnamese loved Rambo.
Yep.
Except for the bad Vietnamese who also had Russians apparently involved with them. But yeah, it's I don't know. The world's so fucked up. I posted a video of Mr. Rogers on his last show, where he just like, and I'm like, you know what, this is my philosophy. Like, it's just like, why? I mean, he doesn't explicitly say some of the things, but it's implicit in terms of like caring for children and people who can't care for themselves. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. I
like,
agree.
that's where it stops. Like, I mean, it's so easy for me to, in this fucking climate-controlled fucking podcast that no one is listening to except for Carol. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you, Carol. I'm going to go to Carol for, hairstyling. Just so she can wash my head.
Nice. Da-na-na-na-na. Na-na-na-na-na. You know exactly what I'm talking about right now, right?
Yes.
For all you Bugs Bunny fans out there.
Yep.
Oh, what are we not
talking
about now?
No, that was the jihad thing. So I crossed that off.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, that was a big cross out. I don't know why I did that. But, yeah, and I just checked. I mean, I checked quickly, but doesn't appear anything's in the news like anything's happened so far.
If you could imagine, not the Pope, but some random bishop that's been actually probably excommunicated from the Catholic Church saying that everybody should punch a left-handed person today.
Ooh.
We would all say you're a fucking idiot, and you would not worry about being punched by a random Catholic.
Okay.
So it's sort of the same. It's the same thing. Like, are there people that might go, hey,
yeah, absolutely,
that guy
there
said,
are.
yeah, but do you know what the fucking probability of that is? It's like astronomical.
Yeah.
Because I've been around the world. I've worked with all different types of people. We are literally all the same. There's just a few assholes. And that's what I said to Daphne. Is like, there's people in the world and there are assholes, and it would be great if we could just like look at somebody and be like, that person's an asshole, and be right.
Right.
Because I do look at a lot of people and think they're assholes.
Well, and we've had similar conversations before, and I always use this. It's a poor example, but it worked for me when I was, 16, 17 years old. When Billy Joel went to Russia to perform those concerts in 1987.
It always comes back.
It always comes back to Billy because he's from Hicksville. This fly is driving me crazy. So, because it was in the mid to late 80s was the height of the Cold War.
The rose is most beautiful right before it dies. Like, that was it. It was right before the end, and it got intense. You had Red Scorpion.
Right.
You had fucking Rambo. You had everything.
And Billy Joel goes over there, and I remember watching the documentary. It was on ABC. And again, I'm a kid, so just like you said, like, you just assume, we're the good guys. The bad guys are in Russia, and and just like you see in the movies. And I'm watching this documentary, and there's Billy Joel talking about how, hey, they're just normal people like us. They're not. I mean, sure, there's some people with blind faith in what their leaders are telling them, but most of them aren't. They don't want war. They don't even know what they're fighting about. They're just trying to survive every day and supply for for their families, do right by their families. And you see him making friends with these people, and like, holy shit! Like, you don't picture that in your head, especially at 17. You picture black and white, run down, mean people that all they're doing is talking about killing us. You don't realize, they have a house. They're watching TV. They want to go get laid and go have a beer, just like everybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I want to make completely clear, at least from my perspective, that I'm not just talking, and I don't think you are either. We're not just talking about the Muslims in this situation, the Palestinians. We're also talking about the Jews.
About everybody.
Like, everybody is just trying to get along, and some assholes come along and pull shit.
Right.
And there's no justification. Like, there's no, like, I shouldn't say this because I can actually pick out a million examples, but I mean, truly, the thought exercise should be, hey, you know how we should stop this violence? More violence. Like, that's so incredibly stupid. Unfortunately, that is ultimately what ends up happening because, and I mean, the arc of history curves towards justice, and so we hope that the good guys win in the end.
Right.
And the good guys, yes, they're the people that I know. Those are the good guys to me. And I'm sorry. So if you punch one of my friends, I'm going to want my friend to whip your ass.
Yep.
But hopefully the collateral damage doesn't end up being too bad. It's something that like, you punch somebody, and listen, it doesn't matter if they punched you before. The second you fucking do something, there's going to be a reaction.
Yeah. And
so this is not, there's nothing in this that's justified. It's just people suffering, and it's fucking terrible. And this is like all of the great sci-fi and fantasy. It was like, one of my high school English teachers posted a William Shakespeare quote, which is the perfect William Shakespeare quote for this, which is, "Hell is empty, all of the devils are here."
Oh, wow.
And it is the absolute truth. And it's like, I've said, like, this is something that I've been like thinking and struggling about with having children at this point in time, them young, and just the where they are in their development, and this is happening, and just being like, what? There's no fucking reason for any of this.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I won't get into the crap about, like, I don't know. Because you can get mired down in the the Israelis. Doesn't matter. Don't kill people.
Right.
Don't rape people. Like, this isn't hard. It isn't hard. Whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna stop there. Carol, that fly will be dead in a second.
Oh, that would be good. Them we can kill.
Yes.
Flies.
Yeah. No. Fuck flies.
Yeah.
Fuck you, PETA.
Yeah. It's true. Carol's going to Temple tonight, so she will let us know if the extremists show up. Rallies against us are real. Oh, yeah,
no,
of course
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, none of this is right.
However, whatever their stance is, if they want, if they want to have a rally, a peaceful rally, knock yourself out.
There's an Irish blessing, and it's one of my favorites. My grandparents had it up in their house, and I hope that there's other people around that have seen it. I'm sure there are people that have seen it, which is, Lord, help me get along with everyone, and if I don't get along with them, please turn their hearts to me. And if you can't turn their hearts, turn their ankles, so I'll know them by their limp.
Oh, wow.
That's one of my favoriteest. So, yeah, go out. Wow. Go out and rally.
Right.
Go out and rally. Now we know who the idiots are.
Right.
Great.
Right.
Thank you. And I'm not talking about like a pro kind of rally. I'm talking about anti-rallies. Any kind of anti-rally, you've dimed yourself out as being a douche. Even if it doesn't matter what it is. It literally doesn't matter what it is. So vote. So do the things that like if you're anti something, if you're pro something, there's no reason.
Well, true.
Or in this case, to support and
celebrate.
Right. That's great.
Yeah.
There's no need to go out there with tiki torches and stupidity.
I actually would. I have no problem admitting that I would like to kill Shovelin's dog because my throat is killing me.
You shouldn't have blown him. That dog has fucking chlamydia.
Oh, is that what it was?
There's a comedian, and I can't remember who it is. I've asked two other comics who were at the show that I was at. It was actually Kelpie's mic at Squarehead Brewery, which is a lit mic. It's like every other Friday essentially. But they were like, the difference between the and So you don't want to be a guy, you want to be the guy.
Okay.
Whatever. And I came up with a counter example like this because I'm a huge contrarian, right? And so I'm like, I can think of a situation where the is not better than a. I would rather a clap instead of the clap.
Mm-hmm. But you don't know who the comedian was?
No, and I'm sure he's not watching.
That's a shame because, like, the next time you do a show with that person, you can, like,
oh, I'm going to
that
drop
ready.
it on him, yeah. It's a great tag. That's why, with that sort of thing, you want to approach another comedian and be like, not that I tried writing a whole joke for you.
Right.
But here's a tag. I think if you use it, because I'm funny. That's Kelpie and I were just talking about this last night at the mic that I was at, where it's like, it's so hard to, like, tell somebody else, like, if you thought of a joke that would be great for them, because you're essentially saying to them, like, hey, you know how you do this comedy thing and you think you're pretty funny and you've had some success? Well, I think I do you better than you. And I know that's not what you want to say. That's what they hear you say.
Yeah?
Yeah. You don't get a lot. I actually, and it's funny because there's a friend, one of the guys, a Suffolk guy, Kevin Bowman, who, my take on my joke was that I wanted to leave. It's like a very obvious, like, rhythmic kind of thing that, like, I'm going to say something and it's obvious that the next thing I say is going to happen.
Okay.
And, all right. You know what I'll do? I will do it just so that it's not because it's specific is, I'm going to take on pronouns. I know everybody wants to hear a white, straight male, middle-aged, finally address this. I hate people who identify as huggers. Like, they're always like, they hug you and they go, I told you I was a hugger. You should have known you were going to get hugged. Hug you. Sorry, I'm a hugger. Could you imagine a rapist would say that?
Oh, my goodness.
Like, you should have known I was going to rape you because I'm a rapist. It'd be horrible. I'm not saying all rapists are huggers. I'm saying all huggers are rapists. Like, and it's that second part that I was leaving for people to say in their head because and Kevin Bowman came. And it was like more of a puppy dog moment. He was like, hey, he had written it down and he's showing me on his piece of paper of like, and I'm like, oh. Thank you. And he's approached me before. I came off. It was the first time he had ever seen me perform as a Katie's in Smithtown. Come off the stage and he goes, oh, I was thinking when you said, and I'm like, are you about to tell me how I could have been fucking funnier? Because I don't want to hear it. That was a great fucking set. And I like you saying this is going to put a fucking shit on it. Okay. And he was, oh, no, I'm not saying that. And then the thing he was talking about, I'm like, that was crowd work. That was a Desert Bloom. I'm never going to do it again. So thank you.
Wow.
No, because that's so annoying. Like you're working on all this shit. You get up there, you have a hot crowd, you fucking hit, leave them. They're fucking, people are like, oh my God. Now this is the first fucking person who's going to talk to me afterwards. But anyway, he comes up to me. So I'm like, and he's like, you should say, I am saying all huggers are rapists. And I'm like, yeah, the thing with that joke is that I want people to say it in their heads. Like, there's some things I want them to, and he's like, oh, okay. Like, but nicely. He was very nice. I'm being a dick about this. Because then I'm like, you know what? I am not the end all be all. And I tried it out at a couple of mics. And it fucking did fantastic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't trust. The audience is idiots. Like, you do have to lead. You do have to a certain extent lead people to water because it's.
Absolutely.
Like artistic versus non-artistic. Like I'm trying to do this art thing, and you know what? I just want to make people laugh. Let me just get to the part where I'm making people laugh.
Yeah, I personally believe. Yeah, in a comedy club, yeah, you just got to lead them.
So I changed it, and I at Mike's I always say, "See, Kevin, you were right. It did work better." Because that is rare.
But then you beat him up anyway.
Oh, yeah. No, we fuck with him all the time. He's been married like 3 times.
Who does that?
Like 2 of them were Filipinos.
Oh.
And it was like, so every time like I bring him up or whatever, I'm like, If Kevin Bowman was in Korea, he'd be in a juicy bar. Everybody give it up for. So stuff like that, like just like little stuff. He's part of our group, like
Right,
for
yes.
sure.
And you have told me that.
He's a good guy, and he is funny. He's very funny. He's just getting like all of us. We're all developing and whatnot.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of people with fetishes, with the Filipino, the
LBFMs.
What's that?
LBFMs. That's what we called them in the Air Force, or the military. It's a military term.
What does it stand for?
Little brown funking machine.
Oh my goodness.
I can't believe that. I think it's been in a movie somewhere, but maybe it was just like one line and people wouldn't have noticed, kind of thing.
I totally lost what I was going to say.
About people having fetishes.
Oh yeah, Bowman with right. The lovely lady who has the one-legged fetish. She says hello. I've been Sally. I've been seeing her at White Post. She's still working there.
I was going to ask you about that because it hit me. I'm like, wait, she wouldn't give up a cherry gig like that.
Oh,
just
no.
because this piece of shit.
That's right. And just because we're 100 feet away from each other the whole day.
Like you're always just like standing right now. Like
Oh, yeah,
the
pretty much.
microphone, like looking at her.
Almost, yeah. But no, it's actually fine. We've had lunch together, but that's where it came up. She asked for the latest, juice around here, and then she said, "How's Andy doing?"
Gossipe.
So I told her how Andy was.
It's Italian.
Gossipe. But yeah, she's asking how the show was going. She says hi to everybody.
Nice.
So so that was nice.
Sweet. Sweet.
Oh yeah. Here's a douche.
Thank God you prepare because I'm just staring at you going,
all
right, what am I going to shit on Tony about
Yeah,
next? Come on, Tony. Put that volleyball up in the air.
Oh, you know what I do? I have a volleyball for you. I like the handlebar. You shaved it.
I think you just answered your own question.
Oh.
My wife was the one who encouraged me to do it, and it just there's like with the in terms of pattern, like even you have it. Like the mustache tends to be darker than what the beard is.
Yep.
And I'm not that vain, really. I just didn't like the way it made my face look. Mm-hmm. It made me look old. As soon as I shave it, I immediately even this hair looks darker.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing.
No, it makes sense.
So it just, and maybe I am kind of sliding into that because I'll be 48 next month. And not that I've ever put any of these. Matter of fact, when I was a kid, my dad was bald, and I used to, because you want to be kind of, when they're around, I guess. You want to be like their father.
Or yeah.
All right, hold on. I was gonna.
You were gonna smack me in the face.
It was just like it was like right here.
He's on the mic. He's on the mic. Oh.
Shouldn't have said it out loud.
Yeah. Oh, he's bad.
Air-to-air kills count for more. Damn it. We used to, in North Dakota had like this huge black fly problem in the summer. But when you're around your dad, you want to be like when your dad's around, you want to be like your dad.
Yeah.
And so I was looking forward to getting bald. I was like, cool. I can't wait until that happens because I'll look more like my dad. And I look, when I was younger, I looked a lot more like him. So I wanted more of that.
He's on the chair.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think he slipped out that way.
Damn it. You failed.
Yeah. Better to fucking tried and failed than, so it's over on the chair now. I got a leg. I only have one leg. I can't go after a fly like that. I'll look like a fool.
Oh, I do that.
Spoiler alert. You always look.
Yeah. So you wanted to look like your dad.
Yeah, and so, but so age, this whole age and losing hair and all that other stuff. But I don't know. Lately, I guess maybe it is starting to kind of creep in.
It is weird to think about. Turning 50 is. That's when I was like, wow.
And like
I'm
the
gonna be
average,
70 soon.
the average age of my friend group right now, which is comedians, is closer to 30 than it is 50.
Yeah.
So I think if I was hanging out with more 50-year-olds or people around my age, I would probably not really give a fuck.
Right.
But it's just like you're always looking around and it's you do get treated differently. I'm at that precipice kind of thing. There's like weird deference that ends up being applied where you're like, dude, I had said this when we were talking before is there's nothing. There are some people think I'm way more important than I am, because I'm not.
Right.
Like, I can't tell you how many people have come up to me over the years and gone, hey, so you're the guy to talk to get into governors. I'm like, no, right. Because I also am not in at governors. Like, right. Yes, I'm in the back, and yes, everybody is so super sweet and nice and everything, but I haven't, like, I don't come here at the right times. Like, it is very hard being as far out as I am, which is crazy because I'm literally halfway on the physical whole island, right. Including Brooklyn and Queens. I'm only halfway out, but it may as well be I have to come to this flyover county that is just there's like literally there's nothing here except for governors that's interesting enough to stop and do versus, and I guess the brokers, but. Like, it's either I want to go to the city or all the awesome stuff out by me. Between vineyards. Because you were giving me shit.
We have All American.
Stop.
We have Nassau Coliseum.
Yeah. Sad.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it used to be stopping at Nassau. Well, I guess Belmont is that technically Queens? Or
no,
is it technically
it's Nassau?
Okay, so that would be the only other thing. Otherwise, it's the city or the better beaches and the wine, the vineyards, and show farm. Like I said that we not going to farms, and we went to the planetarium last week. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not. It was Columbus Day weekend. That is. I used to work at a show farm out east.
Right.
Columbus Day weekend is like the fucking apocalypse of stupidity. People throwing kids, like adults standing right next to their kid as their kid's jumping up and down on a pumpkin, and we're throwing the pumpkins or whatever.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, hey, listen.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to talk to the. I mean, you could do the passive aggressive and thing, and please don't throw the pumpkins. And then all of a sudden they're like, Mason, come here. Stop throwing the pumpkins. And they're looking at you while they're saying it to their kid.
Yes.
And you're like, and I would just be like, right back in their fucking eyes. Because, and if you've done that, you're a scumbag. That like, oh, it's just, this is a farm.
Because it's their kid, they're trying to justify it somehow.
And it's like people who don't get out of the left lane. But there's this guy who dragged, he had this cart, because they have carts there.
Yeah.
He's dragged carts full of fucking pumpkins. Goes up to my wife, because she worked selling tickets at the corn maze. I did the hayride. And they came up to her with this, my wife says that I have to pay for these?
Oh, I get that all the time.
Like, what fucking planet are you from?
Right.
Like, how have you come this far in life without killing yourself accidentally?
Right.
Like, it's impossible to me that you could not have possibly come this far in life.
Right.
That colossally stupid. Like, and legit. Like, I'm not even being funny or anything. Like, you are a scum of the earth fucking moron.
A few months ago, like I mentioned before, my daughter does the special needs bowling on Saturday afternoons. We have a competitive league. You know, they play all by the rules and points, first place, second place, trophies. But we also have a non-competitive league. And last season, I should say, we had this one family, this one kid joined, brand new to us. And he was, you know, he was a little lower functioning. He needed some instruction. He needed a lot of help. So his mother and father were both there with him. And we get that all the time. You know, the parents will get up and bowl with them or bowl for them or, you know, trying to teach them. But what these particular parents did, they put themselves on the scoreboard, like, you know, like to have their own separate turn. So the three of them are taking a turn. The kid,
this is like the ringer. Is this like the ringer?
Well, no. So,
all right.
So I go up to the father. I go, look, it's totally cool that you guys put yourselves in. I said, but you only paid for your son.
Right.
I said, the league is going to charge me. I said, so you guys got to pay for the league, to cover the lane today. He said, but I'm helping my son.
I said, yeah, I get that.
That means he it's just right. Exactly. This is.
But we had this back and forth. And to the point where he was the one getting mad and raising his voice. And I finally had to say to him, I said, this is a business. Why wouldn't they charge you for taking your own turn?
Right.
Like to me, that it's exactly the same thing that you're saying. Like, what is wrong with you?
And here's where, like, there's no way they didn't know that. They thought they were going to get a free fucking ride.
Right.
Because my wife and I have been in plenty of situations like this, and you go to the people and you go, hey, I'm going to throw myself in. What do I have to kick in to?
Right.
And if they go, hey, no problem, sweet. But
thank you very much.
Your expectation has to be that you're good. Like, it's a thing that gets paid for. And it's not, this thing doesn't exist for your entertainment. It exists for your child's entertainment.
Right. So I'll go even further with this, because we're talking about, it's all right, Andy. It's okay.
Oh my God. Oh, wow. Cramp. Oh, I just cramped my leg doing that.
Yeah. I was just about to ask if you hurt any part of your body. Right. I would have thrown out
that's a scuba diving trick. Is that any leg cramp, if you straighten your leg, if you can grab your fin and pull, it will get rid of every leg cramp.
Mm-hmm.
PSA.
Or you just chop the leg off. So,
I mean, if you want to be hardcore about it.
I don't have any cramps.
Hardcore Tony.
So I was...
Which is funny because that's a sex thing, but go.
Oh, yeah, true. At the just this past Sunday at the farm, Sunday or Monday? I think it was Sunday. We had a 9-year-old, because I'm making the announcements all day. I'm on the microphone, so anytime there's a lost and found item, they come to me and I announce, everybody, I'm in possession of a phone. Everybody, you can unlock the phone, it's yours. But I also get the lost kids. So a 9-year-old.
And I eat them.
So stupid.
See, I wasn't quiet. I was quiet during the Chris Monty thing, but now I'm not going to let him get through any fucking story at all.
So a 9-year-old is lost.
Right.
We have him, and we're, anybody, if you're out there, we have little Bobby, whatever his name was. He's here with me, but he's fine, As we're looking for his parents, there is now a 5-year-old who now is on my right. He's lost, and he's sobbing. Like, oh, fuck. And it always works out fine. It happens regularly. But it's a big place. It's crowded.
Of course, it works out fine. It's like a safe haven or whatever. People are trying to drop off their kids at White Post. Well, the farm will raise him.
I kid you not. Not this year. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. We had a lost kid. We found their parents in the parking lot as they were walking to their car. I am not shitting you. That was just a one-time incident. But
I guess that has to happen in a way, like in terms of averages. I mean, however many kids get killed in the backseat of fucking cars being left in there.
Yeah. So, but I find myself having to say that, like, just to make the kid feel better. And plus, as I'm making the announcements, like, you see a lot of people stop what they're doing and they're all looking with their concerned faces. It's like, all right, relax. This isn't isolated. This happens quite often. It's a huge place with a ton of people. Oh, believe me. And I'm the same way. Like I said, it works out fine every time. But as it's happening, I'm like, holy shit, where's his parents? So that's where I was going with this. The 5-year-old. So we find the 9-year-old. We find the parents. We're still looking for the parents of this 5-year-old, and this poor kid is sobbing. But now we have a 13-year-old who's missing his parents. We're like, what the?
At 13, that's on fucking purpose.
No, this kid was crying too. He was crying. So in my head, I'm like, what is going on there? We're having all this, like, at once here, one after another. It took us almost a half hour to find the 5-year-old's parents. And I was like, what?
How?
And what happened was, so like Chris had mentioned before, so you have the pumpkin patch, and when you walk in, that's pretty much the first field, and that's where I am. The cornfield is the next field over. The way it's set up, you can't see into the next field. And that's where all the shows are. The magic show, the game show, the dog shows. So we're standing up there waiting for, I forget the kid's name, whatever his name was, little Joey, Joey's mom, anybody see, and I always say too, when they're that young, if anybody sees a mother that's kind of upset looking for their kid, tell them, they're with me. So nothing. So one of the security guards takes him by the hand. He goes, look, let's take a walk to the cornfield. And maybe, we'll see something. Sure enough, the kid spots his mother. She's watching.
She's doing a funnel.
Yeah, right. She's watching one of the shows. She had no clue. So she's watching the show. So this kid sees her. He runs over. As he runs to her, he grabs her hand. So she's, you see, just kind of look down quickly and goes back to the show. This woman had no clue that her son was gone for a half hour. No clue.
That's insane.
Yeah, I was blown away.
I don't want to like that. That's actually okay. That's actually reasonable because like if you're sitting somewhere, was the father there as well?
I don't recall, to be honest with you.
Well, it's because I do want to be clear. It's not just on the mother's fucking responsibility for that. Because
true.
I know because that's where the kid went, was to his mom and held her hand. That's how that story pans out. But I always I mean, there is something to be said about when women sign away their rights. That's a red flag from a societal kind of kind of perspective. You're like, because I've met two people, and one of them was a complete train wreck. The other one's just a train wreck. That was a joke, but no, it's okay.
Sorry.
I
thought you were...
No. No. They're train wreck, and so like when you see something like that, it's like it's not just the mother's responsibility, but you just would hope that, like, especially if your kid's like 5, when they're 5, they are the most annoying they will ever be, like ever.
Yeah,
like people, teenagers, tween, shut up. This kid can only barely communicate what he wants and needs.
Yeah, right.
And can't understand why he can or cannot have those things.
And then cry when he won't get it.
And the only response that they have to express themselves is to cry or throw a temper tantrum or something like that. And so like my wife, this came up recently. You know what it is? It came up recently because I was in fucking Stop and Shop, and this woman was there with her son, and she's like screaming at this like 3 or 4-year-old boy. Yeah, he's being rambunctious, sure, but like, your kid, going into this situation is going to be like this. Either figure out a way to head him off at the pass,
right,
at everything, or just accept it.
Jerry Lehane is watching. He says he's a little train that could.
I've run trains like that.
I've been a part of choo-choo trains.
I ran a train like that once.
Also,
speaking of mothers.
Now that I got.
Yeah, you did.
Also at the farm this week, on Sunday, I was doing my thing, and talking on the mic, and this one lady comes by, and as I'm talking on the mic, she asked me.
Bob Barker mic?
I don't know why I keep having to demonstrate, but I'm just doing my thing, and she, as she's walking by, she asked, like, where's such and such? I'm like, oh, you got to go down this way, it's over here. And then I continued to talk, and I said whatever silly shit I was talking about, and she goes, I like you, you're cute. And I said, yeah, baby, just like that. And then when the day was over, so we have our magic show there, but this particular weekend, the magician they have, he does all the festivals. He works here year round.
Oh, wow.
So, but this particular weekend, he had to go out of state for a wedding. So they brought in some other guy, right? What?
I think it's like, I know what it is and I understand, but there's something ridiculous about a magician being employed year round, not in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of it's odd, and then
he's definitely lucky.
Because all I was thinking is like, how many magicians are waiting for him to die
Absolutely.
so that they can get in there, or whatever,
right.
And now he's gonna fucking with like all these magicians wanting him to die so he can get in.
Yeah.
He's gonna go ahead and go to some fucking random wedding in New Jersey,
Yeah.
and not be like, okay, I'll be there later.
Right,
because I have this is my regular
if they like
gig.
him better, I'm out.
Yeah, like you. How are
Right.
you not protecting that completely jealousy? Except he goes, I know a magician, and he goes to whatever magic club he knows, and goes, hey, do you some shit magician like, hey, and then like, hey, I mean, thanks for getting coverage for us, but that guy was not very good. I'm sorry,
Right.
There really isn't. Good.
It's like certain headliners who don't want a feature that's better than them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Or hosts even.
So anyway, so the day is over. This was Sunday, so the day is over, and I grab my stuff and I'm walking, I get into the parking lot, and I was trying to maneuver, do an area where the fence has a space between, because my car was parked closer, and if I didn't make that space, I would have had a much longer walk to get to my car. So I make it through, and all of a sudden I hear a voice behind me say, "Oh, thank God," because I didn't want to have to do that long walk. So I turned. Excuse me. I didn't know there was anybody even behind me. So I turned. I said, "Oh yeah." I said, "Yeah." Believe me, I said, "I don't want to do that walk either." And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Especially with all the stuff." So I looked down. He's got a cart full of stuff.
Right.
So I know everybody there. So I said, "Oh," I said, "You have all this stuff." I said, "You must be the magician for the weekend." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "What's your act?" I said, "Well, actually, I don't have an act." I said, "I'm just an annoying guy on a microphone." He goes, "Oh, you're Farmer Willie." I said, "Yes, I'm Farmer Willie." He goes, "I've been hearing your name all day." I said, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Oh, yeah." He goes, "Well, anything that happens, like I was just talking about, like a lost and found." He goes, Like, he goes, "I hear people all day, it's over by Farmer Willie, or, if you get lost, go by Farmer Willie." He goes,
Farmer Willie touched me.
well, that was the thing. So then he goes, and we're walking, and he goes, "Believe me," he goes, "the name of Farmer Willie gets mentioned. A lot of people get excited around here." So in my head, I'm like, "What?" And I just went, so I go, "Really?" Like that. So thank goodness at that point, we get to his car. So he stops. He goes, "When I hear your name, I get very excited." And I just looked at him. I said,
Fucking hot.
"No, it's not."
Hey, you could have gotten a blowjob.
I just looked at him. I said, "You have a great day." I just kept on
my
walking.
cock disappear in your mouth. Like a bunch of
Focus.
All right, Bozy. So, what? I just wanted to blow Tony Walker in the parking lot.
Well, you can see Jeff Bosey in a dress tomorrow night.
Dude, do it.
Over at...
we were talking about before it started. Jeff is fantastic.
Yeah,
so.
He really is. Tomorrow night at McGuire's, 9:30 showtime. Come join us at McGuire's for a fun murder mystery. We're going to have a costume contest. That
Wait,
goes
what time is this show?
It's at 9:30. It's a late show.
Oh, wow. Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I meant, because I'm going to see John and John. John Stewart and John Mulaney in Westbury. So who knows? Maybe we're on the way back. Perillo's already pissed at me because his
him and Travis.
Well, they have a show, but then afterwards they're getting together at that place in Wantagh, the Boss Croakers or whatever.
Oh, Boss Croakers, yeah.
And he, "Why aren't you going to my birthday, Andy?"
Oh, it's his birthday?
Yeah. And it's fun. Like, to be honest, I said to Billy, I'm like, "Holy shit, I think I've been to Steve's birthday party the last 3 years in a row."
Wow.
Which is so strange. Because I fucking hate him. No, Steve is one of my favorite people, especially when we got him home okay.
Right, I bet.
That was trying to be a responsible adult and let him throw up in the street instead of in my truck.
Yeah. And of course, don't forget Chris Monty tonight with Rich Walker. I forgot to ask him about this. Oh, well. Maybe you'll see Chris. Maybe he'll lactate.
I like that picture. That's a great picture.
Yeah, that is a great picture. And, of course, also playing this weekend on the Governor's stage, Nicole Narian, Billy Guyer.
Yep.
Oh, Narayan, thank you. I've been saying it wrong all week. Sorry, Nicole.
Used to Lamonico. Used to be Lamonico.
That's what I'm used to, right. Billy Guyer, of course. Dave Attell is here tomorrow night. Steve Rocco Perillo, Travis Grant. Mick Thomas is at the brokerage, I believe. Andrew Kennedy is at McGuire's. Chris Monty tonight with Rich Walker, and of course us tomorrow night at McGuire's. What do you got? Anything this weekend?
Just going to see John and John tomorrow night. I'm probably going to be here to check out Billy's set, and then get to see Chris. I've only gotten to see like kind of moments with Chris. Because usually either he's
so
like
funny.
What happens a lot of the times is McGuire's, I'll be on the Late Show, or I'm there to support somebody on the Late Show, and I'm coming in right at the end of his set from the early show.
Yeah,
which is always funny. He always has the crowd. Everybody comes out like looking like they had a fantastic time.
Oh yeah, never disappoints. It just one of the best. And enjoy John and John. That's it. That'll be a good show, man.
It'll be interesting because I've heard somebody was telling me that they saw both of them and what's his face, the dirtbag looking kid from Saturday Night Live. He used to be on Saturday Night Live.
Davidson.
Yes, Pete Davidson. But it was like John and Pete was the name of the show, and it was Mulaney and Pete Davidson. But John Stewart had stopped by and he did a guest spot on whatever show that was. So kind of hoping that maybe there'll be
a Davison or just a guest.
Yeah, just any like literally it could be anybody, and if it's somebody I know, it'd be even better.
Yeah,
because
sure.
then I'd be like, "Oh my God, was that amazing?"
Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Seinfeld is here, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Martin.
No, I would probably be like,
that would be incredible.
I'd probably just kill myself right after the show.
All right, so let's hope for Steve Martin.
Yeah, thanks.
So it's good to see you because it's been, I think, a month at this point.
And so fuck you next week.
Right. So next
That's
week,
great.
Won't see you.
You're sending me mixed signals here, Tony.
I will see you in 2 weeks.
I'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right, everybody. I don't know if there's conversations tonight or not. Last week there wasn't. I don't know. Don's a busy man.
There's always a conversation going on in Don Sill's mind.
Well, that's true. But yeah, and hopefully we get to see what's in his mind. I don't know. All right.
I thought you were going to say like his penis or whatever, but I'm pretty sure you've already seen it.
Haven't we all? Everybody have a great weekend. Obviously no green room this weekend, so we'll be back Monday. And I don't know if I have a guest yet. Oh, I got to work on that. All right. We'll see you guys later. Thanks. Have a great weekend. Peace. Experience at a Knockem Dead Comedy Murder Mystery Show. Suspense, excitement, love, more love, violence. Well, not really. And, of course, some music. Knockem Dead Comedy is the #1 murder mystery troupe, entertaining thousands of people for over 20 years.
You have a great night or what? Good.
Their hilarious murder mystery shows are full of audience interaction from beginning to end that will keep you laughing all night long. Their shows are not to be missed. Knockem Dead Comedy's murder mystery themes include a mob show, a redneck wedding, a high school reunion, a family reunion with a luau theme, or your own custom show.
Johnny, you have a good time tonight or what?
Had an awesome time.
All right. She had a great time. KDC, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, all right.
Fundraisers, private parties, corporate events, restaurants, and more. Contact Knockem Dead Comedy for your event today. What will you experience at a Knockem Dead Comedy Murder Mystery Show? Suspense, excitement, love, more love, violence. Well, not really. And, of course, some music. Knockem Dead Comedy is the #1 murder mystery troupe, entertaining thousands of people for over 20 years.
You have a great night or what? Good.
Their hilarious murder mystery shows are full of audience interaction from beginning to end that will keep you laughing all night long. Their shows are not to be missed. Knockem Dead Comedy's murder mystery themes include a mob show, a redneck wedding, a high school reunion, a family reunion with a luau theme, or your own custom show.
Johnny, you have a good time tonight or what?
Had an awesome time.
All right. She had a great time. KDC, that's what I'm talking about.